Hello, this is Evan, also known as Nine Motor Gang, and this is going to be my video breaking down different types of drive bases. Now, this is not a fully inclusive list. I'm only going over what I think are the 5 main drive types. So there are other ones like Swerve and Kiwi that aren't mentioned, but I also don't think those are competition viable for VRC. So also another thing to note is these drive bases aren't like good drive bases to actually build in terms of like speed and stuff. Like this is 4 motors, 600 direct, so that's either going to be too fast or too slow, so don't just like whole count these drive bases. This is mainly going over like the pros and cons of each type of drive base and why you would want to build a certain drive base type over the other. These are not specific designs that you should whole count, although the build quality is generally pretty good except for the X drive, because that one was not specifically catted from my notebook. That was from SpinUp previously. So starting off is tank drive with traction wheels. Now this is what I would recommend to any teams who are new to building drive bases, as I think this is the easiest to drive and it's also one of the simplest to build. So you can do 3-hole gap with it. It's pretty easy, pretty versatile. You have traction wheels on the side, which makes it hard for people to push you around. It gives you a good center for turning, which can be useful for autonomous routines, and you're not going to be skidding around for autonomous routines, so you're not going to have to worry about side-to-side drift anywhere near as much as you would with some of the future drive bases. Now some other notes on this are if you're running 6 wheels, obviously you just run middle traction wheels. If you're running 8, you can run 1 set of traction wheels on each side, or you can run 2 sets. So this really depends on what you kind of do. Some people say that they had issues with running 2 traction wheels if they're right next to each other, but I think that it's perfectly fine. I've run this a couple of times. As long as these are close together, you definitely don't want them like that is your traction wheel and that is your traction wheel, because then you're going to get like bouncing as you go to turn, which is not good, obviously. So yeah, overall, really solid drive base. This is probably my favorite, just in general, and it's also probably most versatile, and if you're new, I would recommend this drive base. Now moving on is literally the exact same drive, but with omni wheels. Very, very hard to CAD the difference here. So the difference here is the omni wheels make it so you're a lot easier to like drift and extra maneuverability, but they also make you more susceptible to defense. So when you get pushed from the side, there is absolutely no resistance, and the other team's just going to be able to take you for a joyride until the ref starts counting pinning, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it unless you are good enough and you use the extra mobility of the drive base to outmaneuver them, because you can drift and you can still have horizontal movement, which is kind of cool as you use momentum. Like 515R really mastered this technique of almost treating this like a holonomic drive. And I know there was a team at MOA last year who some of their autonomous routines looked like they were using an H drive, which I'll get to later, just because of their drifting was very clean and precise. So definitely a little bit harder to drive, requires a bit more experience, makes you more susceptible to defense, but definitely overall it's pretty simple. I mean, it's no harder to build than the other one. And as for both of these options, you just need even motors on the tank drives, which makes them pretty versatile there, especially with the new 5.5 watt motors, because you can have any multiple of 11 in terms of your drive base power. So pretty easy to get however much power you want on the motors. Now moving on is H drive, which is our tank omni drive, but with an additional wheel on it. As you can see, it just adds this additional sideways wheel. So some disadvantages of this are, of course, it's going to take up a lot of space in the center of your robot, and also it's very important that you get all of your wheels at the same level of elevation right here. Obviously in CAD it's pretty easy to do, but if you're actually building this, small issues can definitely add up and make you have some really weird issues with turning. Also, another issue with strafing is you're going to strafe along your center of mass. So if your center of mass is like right there, you're going to be perfectly fine. You're just going to strafe right and straight left. But if your center of mass is, say, like right there, then this is going to be on the outside, and you're going to go in like an arc shape around the strafing. So definitely more difficult if you don't balance center of mass. And also this is going to require an extra motor, which is another sort of difficult thing, because you have to essentially think about this as being a 1-motor drive or a 5.5 watt motor drive, so you do not have a lot of torque here. Usually you want to run like a green motor or red motor. Maybe if you're using a 5.5 watt motor, gear it for torque, because you still want to have enough maneuverability in order to actually accelerate the robot quickly. You could probably get away with something faster if your robot was really, really light, but I don't think that's going to be super relevant in this year's game of high stakes. So I would recommend H drives if you're looking for precision movement. Like for high stakes, that might be lining up with the wall stake specifically, because this is going to be slow. You're only going to be able to move this a couple inches per second, so this is good for precision. You just need to line up. You can get your robot close with a standard tank drive, but then just that last 2 to 3 inches of clearance that it's hard to line up with, this might be more viable then. And it can also, of course, make you resistant to pushing, because if this is the same torque as the rest of your drive base, you can essentially just push into the other robot with your 1 motor, and you're going to be fine there. So definitely a versatile robot. I don't know with the 5.5 watt motors and motor distribution what the meta is going to end up being, but if you have an extra motor on your robot, this is definitely something I would consider if you have the space. I think it could be really useful this year, which is those precision movements. Now moving on to mecanum drive, similar setup to tank drive. However, it is slightly different, mainly in the wheels. You use mecanum wheels here, not omni or traction wheels. And the mecanum wheels are set up, I'm not going to go over exactly how they work, but essentially if you run this wheel forwards and this wheel backwards, you move sideways. It's not quite as fast as just driving, so it's probably still better for precision movements, and you're not just going to be strafing across the field with it, but it is going to be faster than H-drive. I think with the Vex mecanum wheels, it's roughly about 2/3 speed when you're going sideways, but that's just based off some stuff I've seen. And like I said, when you run these wheels in opposite directions, you can't gear them together, which makes you more susceptible to wedging. If the opponent team wedges you up off the ground and only your back wheels stay in contact with the ground, if you're using a tank drive, then this motor would be connected through gears all the way to your back wheel. You would still have 4-motor drive in this case powering your robot. However, in this case, if these two wheels get lifted up off the ground, now you're a 2-motor drive and the robot pushing you is going to have an even easier time pushing you. So more susceptible to wedging, which is definitely one of the bigger drawbacks. Also, during when you're coding autonomous, these wheels aren't necessarily going to move in sync, which can cause small inconsistencies if you have extra friction on one motor than the other, because now you have 4 items you need to tune for friction, whereas on a tank drive you really only have 2. And another issue is if you want to run 6-motor drive, it gets kind of tricky. Like you could do 66 watt drive with 8 motors and just have like 5.5 and 11 watt powering each mecanum wheel. That definitely could work. Or I've also seen teams do like they have a middle omni wheel and a motor there, which only gives you like a 4-motor mecanum drive, but then you have an extra 2 motors going forward. And definitely something you could look into, but I don't think that's the best option. Another issue with mecanum wheels is the Vex mecanum wheels aren't great. These are the new 2-inch ones, which from what I've seen work reasonably well, but the only other options are 4-inch wheels, so you only have 2 wheel sizes as opposed to the 3 with tank drive, which is just going to give you less options for speed differences. And also the 4-inch wheels are not great. They are very thick. You cannot get a 3-hole gap with them. They're very wide. I think you can do 5-hole gap with them, maybe 4-hole gap if you run direct, so not going to be great there. But definitely a solid robot. Obviously, you have to mention 7K if you're talking about mecanum drives. They were, for those who don't know, they were probably the best team in the world for Tower Takeover, and they were in mecanums to great effect. So they definitely have their purpose, and they also suck at climbing. That's another thing to point out. Mecanum wheels don't have as much traction with the ground, so you're going to be a little bit more susceptible to defense, and you're going to struggle with climbing, which isn't really an issue this year. Maybe the defense part, but not the climbing. And finally, the X-Drive. This is a copy of what I had for my spin-up haunted robot for the X-Drive. Works pretty well, but this is definitely not the most efficient X-Drive. So some issues with X-Drive are you have wider wheels because they're at 45-degree angles, which allows you to strafe. Because again, if you run this wheel this way and you run this wheel that way, your entire robot's going to end up moving sideways. And now the good thing about X-Drive, not mecanum drive, is when you rotate it 90 degrees, it's the same. So it can strafe sideways at the exact same speed as it goes forward. So if you do just want to strafe all the way across the field, X-Drive is the Drivebase type for you. And you want to get those 45-degree gussets in there, I would recommend using like a CNC machine to get some extra structure in addition to the Vex ones. And it's going to end up being a wider robot. It's going to be bulkier, going to be heavier, harder to tune. It's pretty challenging to get gear ratios in there, and it has the same issues with mecanum drive about if you want to power it with a 66-watt drive. I'm probably going to look into this for VexU just because I can run 88-watt drive because unlimited motors. But yeah, X-Drive is pretty solid. Definitely is a more niche. It was more popular during the 4-motor drive games. But overall, I think it's still a solid option. There's also Asterisk Drive, which is essentially you add the extra Omni wheels there. But the tricky part with that is gearing, because X-Drive has an inherent 1.4 times gear ratio, square root 2 to be precise. So you have to think about it if the robot is going this way. These wheels are going forward at whatever speed, and these wheels are going this way at whatever speed. So when you add these two wheels together, you do some basic vector math, and you end up going square root 2 times faster and have square root 2 times less torque, if that makes sense. So essentially an inherent gear ratio, which makes RPMs like 200 direct actually be viable, because that's about 282 on 4-inch wheels. Maybe a little bit on the slower side than shift to 6-motor drives, but they used to be pretty good. Random note as I'm editing this video, I also forgot to mention that X-Drive is very bad at climbing. For obvious reasons, the wheels don't go very well with just driving directly into an object, so it's harder to climb. So yeah, this kind of covers all of the drive-based types, the main ones. definitely all have their purposes. Tank is probably what I would recommend for beginners, though I think X Drive could have some purpose here. Really, all of these I think would be pretty viable for high stakes, and good luck in that. I will probably have some videos dropping of a high stakes robot that I just finished earlier tonight, and if you want to check that out, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss that. See you in the next video.